In the 1850s, Sumter County covered thousands of square miles of dense pine scrub and sprawling wetlands. In a territory this isolated, projecting organized government power across the swamps was nearly impossible. This vacuum allowed the town of Leesburg to emerge as the region's de facto center. It was the hub where county business was actually conducted and where the physical tax ledgers were heavily guarded. However, state archives contain no statutory paperwork that actually designates Leesburg as the incorporated capital. The legal proof of its official status remains entirely unverified. On the chaotic Florida frontier, municipal power wasn't granted by a distant legislature's piece of paper. It belonged to whoever physically possessed the local records. By the early 1880s, rumors of a vote to relocate the courthouse sparked immediate financial anxiety. For the residents who had invested in Leesburg property, the move felt like a direct threat to their wealth. This diagram illustrates the core grievance of the 1882 Florida Supreme Court case, Lanier v. Paget. Taxpayers sued to block the government from diverting local funds to a new courthouse, arguing it would drain their property values and create an illegal debt. Despite the lawsuits, the electorate executed a vote in 1881 to abandon Leesburg. They moved the entire county operation to a more central location, Sumterville. This cycle of litigation and relocation set a precedent of volatility. The county seat was no longer a permanent institution, but a nomadic prize that shifted according to the latest electoral majority. After months of operating out of rented rooms, a permanent courthouse was finally completed in Sumterville. For several decades, a rare administrative peace settled over the county. That peace was shattered on January 30, 1909. At high noon, a sudden fire broke out, fanned aggressively by high winds. The town's structures were built of highly flammable pitch pine timber. The local bucket brigade proved useless as the flames incinerated the courthouse, several mercantile stores, and the local newspaper's printing presses. While the timber buildings could be rebuilt, the heat had targeted something more durable. By burning the courthouse, the fire had effectively erased the county's collective memory. The 1909 fire created an absolute archival black hole. 2 decades of irreplaceable county commission minutes and ledgers dating to 1853 were turned to ash. This destruction is exactly why the early legal mechanics of the county remain a mystery. Without those records, the official status of towns like Leesburg can never be verified. In the immediate aftermath, the county government was humiliated. The Board of Commissioners was forced to conduct the region's legal business out of an inadequate storefront rented for $150 a year. By vaporizing the county's institutional memory and its physical home in a single afternoon, the fire reignited the vicious, multi-town war for control of the capital. With Sumterville's infrastructure gone, a 4-way scramble erupted. Bushnell, Coleman, Wildwood, and Webster began lobbying the electorate to become the new seat of power. Wildwood held a massive advantage in this fight. As the region's primary railroad hub, it possessed a dense commercial and logistical infrastructure that the other towns couldn't match. By 1912, the field had narrowed to a definitive electoral showdown between the railway power of Wildwood and the highly organized town of Bushnell. The winner of this election would secure decades of guaranteed government infrastructure and commercial stability. The loser would remain entirely dependent on the volatile agricultural markets and the railroad. This visualization shows the astonishingly tight results of that 1912 vote. Bushnell received 657 votes, and Wildwood received 648. By a margin of exactly 9 votes, Bushnell became the permanent county seat. To ensure the capital could never be moved again, the newly victorious government mandated the construction of a massive, fire-resistant structure. They awarded a commission to William A. Edwards, a renowned Atlanta architect. He was tasked with designing a permanent brick fortress in the heart of Bushnell. Completed in 1914, this imposing courthouse finally ended the era of the wandering capital, anchoring Sumter County's government in stone. But as the dust settled in Bushnell, a new question emerged. What fate awaited the independent frontier towns like Wildwood, Coleman, and Webster, the communities who lost the crown but were left to power the county's massive agricultural and industrial engines? Sumter.